Uniting America with truth, justice, and independence. This is the Norm and Goldman Show.
First of all, Norm, I listen to you all the time. I told you I don't agree with much that you say, but in the spirit of the debate, I like to hear your side of everything. I don't want to listen to guys that I agree with. I already think that, you know. But you sit here all the time and say, hey, I hate the name calling, the liberal, the conservative, blah, blah, blah. But you sit there and call everybody neocons and John Boner when his name's Boehner, and Mitch, you got a name for Mitch McConnell instead of McConnell. And with all due respect, as an adult man, you got to kind of change that.
Well, Tom, you're wrong. I didn't call them neocons. It was the caller that called them the neocons. I don't. I challenge you to go back through the podcast and find me saying it. You won't. I don't use that term.
Okay, but then I'll stand corrected.
But wait a second. Now, I do call them Republicans, and I do call him John Boner, and I do call him Mitch McConnell artists because they insist on calling my party the Democrat Party. The moment that they stop being a bunch of snotty, 2-year-old kids, petulant little babies, I'll be happy to call them the Republicans. And actually, they've been doing better lately, so I've been calling them Republicans more than I have in a long time. And by the way, as to John Boner,
my name looks like Boehner, Boner.
I mean, there it is, Tom.
My name looks like Boner.
Okay, but that's not even my issue. So let's move on to this. Because here's what we talked about last week. That was just one of the things I thought that it's kind of, to take a guy's surname and beat it up. But anyways, let's move on real quick. Let's talk about this whole, the Marriage Act, the Gay Marriage Act. And last week when I was talking to you about the estate tax and that you're all for it. And one of the questions I had was, now that any two Americans can get married, and I happen to use my mother as an example, I want to use my father as an example. If my father's worth $20 million and I decide I want to marry my dad and he wants to marry me so that we have rights of survivorship, then once he and I get married, and the Supreme Court really can't stop us from getting married, now when my dad passes away, I get the $20 million tax-free. Are you in support of that?
Did you ever hear, Tom, are you an attorney?
No, I'm not.
All right. Did you ever hear of a thing called the law of consanguinity?
I've heard the terminology.
Okay, the law of consanguinity is a law in every state that determines who cannot marry who. And the laws of every state say you cannot marry your mother, you cannot marry your father, you cannot marry your sister. In fact, in today's Supreme Court decisions, they touched upon this and said, I'm going from memory here, Tom, so don't quote me on this. I'm prefacing it that way. In New Hampshire, you can marry as young as 13. But in Vermont, you have to wait until you're 16. In some states, and they list the states. In some states, you can marry your first cousin, but in many other states, you cannot. That's it. Those are the laws of consanguinity, and you can't marry your mother or your father.
But hold on. But there's laws that say two men can't marry, and you're arguing that law is wrong and should be changed. So
no, because what you're doing, Tom. No, Tom. What you're doing is you're taking a ruling and you're overblowing it for the purpose of trying to make a point, and I'm not going there. Pardon me, but I'm being a little more precise than you are. You're trying to make a polemical, argumentative point by taking today's ruling and saying, oh, it means any two people can get married, so I can marry my dad. No, Tom, there's consanguinity laws. You can't marry a 4-year-old. There are still limits on there. We haven't gone down the slippery slope. I can't marry my cat. All the court said today was two consenting adults can get married as long as they're not in a consanguinity line that's prohibited by state law.
But so basically what we've done is you said that you believe, you didn't say anything, you believe that a law saying only a man or woman could get married is discriminatory.
It is.
And what we're going to do is we're going to move the line of discrimination. You don't want to eliminate the line of discrimination. You just want to move it.
If that's how you want to view it, if you believe that me saying a 4-year-old should not be allowed to marry a 20-year-old, if you want to call that discrimination, that's fine. If you want to tell me that it's discrimination to say you can't marry your father, then you can believe that, and you can get angry at me for being a hypocrite all you want. I'm telling you,
you're phony. Though.
No, I'm not. Tom, you can believe I'm phony all you want. It makes me never mind. I really don't care. What I am telling you is this. What you're doing is the slippery slope argument. You're saying, see, now I can marry my father, and look how bad you did. You liberals, look what you did. You blew it all up, so now I'm going down the slippery slope. The problem with the slippery slope argument, Tom, is that what you're doing is you're saying, look at the horrible things that can happen, and you don't care about the horrible things that can happen because they may never happen. I believe in wait to worry. I'm a big fan of wait to worry. I've got enough problems right now that are real and in front of me that I need to deal with. I'm not going to create problems that may never happen and worry about those right now. All right, I'll wait to worry. And I suggest that you, Tom, and everybody who's listening, think about that concept of wait to worry. Do I really need to deal with this problem now, or can I wait to worry about it because it's not really a problem now? What you're doing, Tom, is an intellectual trick. It's a device. It's treachery. What you're doing is saying, Norm, because this other thing can happen, which it can't, you can't do the thing that you want to do right now that's actually in front of you. It's a very sneaky trick, and I ain't buying it, and I just exposed it. No, you can't marry your father and you can't marry your mother. Have you ever seen the play Othello? I mean, come on, you can't. Anyway.
Uniting America with truth, justice, and independence. This is the Norman Goldman Show.